I wanted to start with what we heard from the ECB overnight, because they essentially had a few concerns about the upcoming planned Libra project from Facebook, saying there should be a global approach to cryptocurrencies. Do you agree with that?
Well, we would certainly welcome that. Bitgo has a trust license from the Division of Banking in South Dakota, and that's been very helpful for us to be able to know what we're licensed to do and what we're not to do. And I think that with regulation, more clarity really tells service providers like us what is required and how much we can innovate, and we can get down to it.
What about in terms of some of these disruptors, like the planned Libra project? We're also hearing that the PBOC might start its own cryptocurrency. Do you see this as welcome for the overall industry, or a little bit of a disruption?
I think it's extremely welcome. It's going to improve the development of blockchains. It's going to be potentially an on-ramp for things like Bitcoin and Ethereum, and it's going to really acclimatize more users and how they can use blockchain technology.
I wanted to also ask you, as we alluded to, this price that we've been seeing in Bitcoin. I've got a chart on my terminal. Essentially, we have been seeing it stuck in a very narrow range, from 11,000 to the upside to 9,500 on the downside. At what point do we see a catalyst for Bitcoin to be able to break out of this range?
Yeah, well, historically, Bitcoin has broken out of many ranges for various number of reasons. One large reason could be next year, for example. So there is what they call the halvening of the block reward. Today, the Bitcoin supply is being added to at a rate of about 12.5 Bitcoins every 10 minutes. And next year, that amount will halve to 6.25 every 10 minutes. And so there'll be less supply of Bitcoin that is actively being minted and entering the market.
I mentioned that you at Bitgo have around 200 coins and tokens. Do you see some kind of consolidation in this space? Is there too many players in the market? Well,
there are many platforms in the market, and we do feel like we want to support all of them, but at the same time, having a consolidation of developers and talent going towards a few strong projects could be a good thing for the entire industry.
And I wanted to ask you as well, because as we mentioned, you focus very much on institutional investors at Bitgo. Are you seeing a pickup in demand from institutions, I should say, because of course there was so much concern coming through quite loudly and vocally from a number of them?
Yeah, I think we've been seeing definitely over the past 6 months a pickup in the amount of interest, institutional interest, but we haven't quite seen them just buying in quite yet. And I think for that, they're looking for several different pieces of financial infrastructure. They're looking for things like custodians. So, with many other different asset classes, fund managers are not used to storing those asset classes, so they wouldn't like go out and buy gold bars and put it under the table, for example. In a similar way, they don't want to have private keys and hold those. So custodians like Bitgo are helping with that. They're looking for global liquidity, where they don't have to put funds on a single kind of cryptocurrency exchange just to trade that. They want to be able to trade it from anywhere. And they're also looking for margin, lending portfolio margin and liquidity.
And just speaking very quickly about gold bars, at what point do you see digital currencies, cryptocurrencies, becoming a platform for payment rather than an asset you hold like gold?
Well, I think that side of blockchain is still something that's actively being developed. We've come a long way in the past 1 year. If you look at, for some people that want to look a little bit more into smart contract platforms like Ethereum with decentralized banking products and structured online lending, for example, which could lead to insurance, and there are many blocks that are being built slowly as part of that infrastructure.